What's going on YouTube? Darksword255 here with the numbers. May be randomly generated, but the content itself is not. And welcome to another guide video. Guys, we are going to be going over a unbelievable epic. I mean, a lot of these champions that I've been doing in this like little mini series slash guide series they're all epics, but honestly, they're slept on. Everybody cares really about the latest and greatest Lego, which, I mean, of course, we're playing a gacha game. We want the best epics. But if you are starting raid, guys, this is a login champion using a creator code. Full disclosure, guys, I am not sponsored by raid. I do not get a kickback from raid. I am just in it for the love of the game. I really love raid, and I love trying my best to help people out in general in this game. And you know, the game is complicated, so hopefully these videos will help you guys out if you're just starting your raid journey. Just pull this champion, so on and so forth. Without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and let's pull up the champion in question here. Alrighty, guys, so we are going to be doing a video about Tagoar here. Now, Tagoar, from my understanding, is a level 20 champion that you get if you sign up with like certain creators codes. Again, you know, don't have one and don't really care. I only care about, you know, helping people out here. So we're going to be going over his kit, guys, masteries, relics, where to use him, how to use him, where to smell him, how to smell him. Without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into your boy's kit here. So his A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, places a 60% increase the defense buff for 2 turns on an ally with the lowest current HP. So if you're in a bind, this increased defense on an ally, pretty solid. Moving to his A2, attacks all enemies, places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns, then heals all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP. Really huge. He's a great support. He is attacking all enemies. He's putting that increased speed, which is really important, on all your allies, making them move faster, but he's also healing all of your allies. So if you need it, I mean, there's a whole slew of different places that you could be using your boy right here. So increased speed, amazing. Healing all your champions on your team, amazing. But this is what is important. His A3 revives all dead allies with 30% HP. Also places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. So not only is his A3 reviving dead teammates, but let's say they're not dead. He is then putting a 20% shield based off however healthy he is, you know, how much HP he is on everybody. So this guy is an insane support, and we'll go over a little bit more. Let's just get through like all parts of it. So his passive decrease the damage received by allies with 50% HP or less by 10%. So if you are under that 50% threshold for your allies, so like the people on your team, you're taking 10% less damage, making your team even tankier. So again, increased defense, everybody puts a shield on everybody, also decrease damage under 50% HP, heals and increases speed, all in one character that you get at level 20. Insane, dude. Like, this is insane. You really don't get a lot of good revivers early in the game. So to start the game off with an insane, like this support epic is insane. Healing, increased speed, revive. Amazing. Literally amazing. The aura, 25%. Most people only kind of care about the speed aura, like speed in all battles, but you know, whatever. Let's go ahead and move over to relics. So if you're starting the game, you're not going to have any relics. So it's not so important. You'll get it the more that you progress in the game doing Chimera. You'll get the materials to craft relics, so on and so forth. But you know, if you can, you'll probably get a good amount of these demonic effigies. They're really good. The targets, the wearers turn meter is increased by 10% whenever one of their allies dies. Again, you know, he's a reviver. Wow, somebody dies, boom, we get turn meter to speed up to get closer to reviving somebody. And you know, the higher this level, so it's actually really 14%, but you know, nuances, right? Again, really kind of any relic that you get that gives you HP is pretty good. Like this book, the journal, would also be pretty good, right? Whereas heals and turn meter effects are increased by 10%. We only care about the healing part of it, so you'll heal 10% more. Nice, right? You'll be getting a lot of these books, so just by playing the game. Also, this is all the Rod of Blasphemy is also pretty good, but obviously, if you could get the demonic effigy, that's BIS for him. The gemstones are not as important as you progress. Obviously, you know, when you do get them, like relics are weird. I would rather make a whole video kind of going over relics than explain it in this particular video, but just know that there are different gems and there are different like shape gems and they only go into certain spots. So I wouldn't really worry about that. But again, you know, if you can, you know, depending on, you know, if you're watching this video to learn how the champion works, I'm going to be honest, I've never used this champion until I made this video. And I honestly regret not utilizing this champion. He's amazing. He's amazing. And I feel kind of funny and silly for discounting him. But you know, that's the whole thing. Even I, who've been playing the game since 2019, 2020, can learn something new. Right? And I'm passing that knowledge on to you guys. Now, for Masteries, again, we're mainly aiming to make him as tanky as possible and a reviver. The reviver and survivability is really important. Increases champion's turn meter by 20% whenever an ally's heroes drops below 25% HP, as well as, I think it's yeah, here it is. Spirit haste. Increase speed by 8 for each dead ally, and it's stacked. So if like your guys are dying, he's gonna be you know, moving faster throughout the battle if he's just constantly reviving. This is kind of what I would go with. If you want, I wouldn't, but if you want, you can go with Unshaking, or you could go with Bulwark. He would be basically taking the damage for your team. So, I mean, you're already going to be aiming to build him as tanky and as much HP as possible. The more HP, the better for this champion, because as we read, a lot of his skills are based off the max amount of HP he has. So if you are struggling, I would say either going for the revive, or the turn meter, you're increasing your turn meter, basically how fast your champion goes, according to everybody else, by how many people are dead. Or if you're at the point that you're mainly using him for like survivability, like the healing, the shield, and so off, you can go with Bulwark. You know, up to you guys. There's a lot of different ways to use him. Now, for the gear is not so much important, but it is important. You know what I mean? So when you're getting into raid, you want to aim for a couple of different things. It all kind of depends on where you're going to be using your champions. This guy right here, since he's not putting any debuffs on enemies, you don't care about accuracy. The things that you do care about for Tagoar here is you want speed, HP, defense. Not necessarily in that order. HP and speed are probably hand in hand. You want him to obviously be going fast, but if you're trading a lot of HP for that speed, it's not worth it, right? Like, you need to have him in high HP. So for most content, and I say most, as you progress, 200 speed minimum is your go-to, right? And once you start progressing farther and farther and farther into the game, you're going to want to like up that speed. So if you can get to 200 speed as well as really high HP, like my HP right now for my account, it's an endgame account, is actually really, really low. But, you know, I didn't want to take gear off other champions. So this is what he is standing with. So again, like I said, have him as fast as you can. But don't sacrifice HP. If you have to make him slower, then make him slower. You want him to have high HP because, again, guys, you're healing. You're 15% of your champion's HP. You're healing your team. The shield that you're putting is 20% of your max HP. So it's very important to have him in high HP. Now, like I said, with raid, when you're progressing through the game, what is important first is the stats that you can get on your champion. Number one. Number two is the gear, right? You want to aim for stats first. Once you get a more developed account, then you can worry about getting them into these certain gear sets that will benefit the champion. For example here, regeneration, amazing set to get him in. Heals by 50% every turn. So every time he moves, he is healing himself for 15%. Amazing, right? That's a great gear set. Regeneration is great. You could also go with Relentless, 18% chance of getting an extra turn. It's okay. It depends on if you really are struggling with healing. If you're really, really struggling with healing, then you could go with this. You could also go with what most people do is they pair regeneration and immortal, because regeneration is a 4-piece set and immortal is a 2-piece set. So pair them together. You could put 6 slots for your accessories. Bam, you can milk the 15% healing from the regeneration and the 15% healing from the immortal. Awesome. HP by 50%, and you heal by 3% each turn, because regeneration heals by 15% every turn. You heal by 3% every turn with this. So 15 plus 3, bam, you know, plus you get more HP in general, right? Immortal gear you get from clan boss. So, you know, the more that you do your daily clan boss, the greater amount of gear you get from clan boss. You'll get cruelty gear and immortal, but trying to get the sets is secondary. But if you're going to get the sets, you know, immortal is great. Probably regeneration and immortal are going to be your go-tos. If you could get him in sets, if you're a little bit more developed, you can do one of two things. You can put him in protection, which you get protection and stone skin from Hydra. But again, that's a little bit down the line, but you can get him in protection. It's just easier to build, like grab him in certain pieces. So like you could do like regeneration and then like sprinkle in a couple little percentage, you know, protection in here, because like look at the stats you get just by like per piece. You can put like incomplete sets, but really what would be very good is stone skin. So of course, like just kind of threw him in together. Having a 4-piece stone skin on him for like almost all areas of the game. You could use him as a reviver, for example, in PvP. Probably wouldn't aim to do that, but you could if you were like trying to do tag team arena. You know, he would still be okay. Like, he's basically, if your team dies, you have him in stone skin, you would have him slow, and then your team dies, he revives everybody, gives them a shield, and then your team goes. But you're not really going to be aiming to use him in PvP. Mainly a PvE champion. I would say you could aim for 4-piece depending on where you're using them. Like, I'm using them in faction wars because orcs are a very weak faction. They don't have a lot of revivers. They do have like healing and stuff, but they don't have a whole plethora of revivers. So again, this is why I regret not really knowing about this guy, because he is he is an amazing support champion. Amazing. Really will benefit you. You can use him in PvE because of the healing, the revive. Let's say you're using him in your, let's say, a Chimera team. You're getting the shield, which is awesome, and the healing. You can use him in Hydra. Amazing as well. You can use him for Amius. Also would be great. You could use him in faction wars, where my account is, an end game account is using him. Again, it's just even like progression, right? Like getting to the point you could throw him in your clan boss team, and with another login champion that you're going to be getting, Venomage, both of them paired together would be awesome. You know, those are the stats you kind of want to aim for. The Masteries, again, the Relics, you're not going to be really using the Relics at this point, but like, whatever. Like, this video is mainly aimed for 2 different groups of people. The people who are starting raid, or people who are looking just for kind of a guide on this champion, right? So this will be hopefully over encompassing for kind of like all groups of people. Try to do my best with this, right? So I wish I've been using him. He, as even a late game champion, is amazing. Let me know, guys, if you're enjoying these videos. I hope that they're insightful. Like I said, I'm trying to hopefully build your understanding of the champion itself. So as you progress through the game, you know where to utilize this champion. I'm not just saying, hey, by the way, here's the gear, here's the stats. Good luck in esports. You build your understanding of how the champion can work within teams. Then you can build your teams around them. I don't really like to do, when I'm doing like a little guide video like this, everybody has different champions and can use them in different ways. So it's a little bit hard for me to like, I don't want to make a team with this champion, because like my account, for example, is goated and my gear is goated. It's not a fair comparison, but I can, like, if you guys are interested, let me know down in the comments. I can make basic teams to kind of showcase how they kind of work within a team. But I feel like I've kind of already covered it within this video, how he works, how to utilize him, so on and so forth. But again, if you think that I'm missing anything, guys, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will see everybody in the next one.